Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about September 17th, 2020, New Moon in Virgo, Part 2. Now, first off, as far as what's important about New Moon, look at the electional aspects it makes because this, of course, would impact its delineation and interpretation and can reflect either it could be a lot of more, manifest more positively or negatively. Now, this is there's one electional aspect it makes that's going to be very favorable and auspicious. It's going to trine Pluto in Capricorn, and thing about this is, I think this could manifest and could be some health, well, keep in mind, Pluto is about transformation. Capricorn is associated with the government. So it could be something that the government does as far as transforming something that is health related. And the fact that you're talking about a trine aspect, it could be something that could be beneficial to others. And this is going to be, you're also going to have it making a trine to Saturn as well. So if somebody's going to start something Virgo related, and it could be, it's another indicator of something very auspicious because Saturn could be associated with the career. It could be something with business as well, like let's say somebody's starting some kind of opening up a gym or some health club. You're talking about the new moon in Virgo, which is always, you're talking about new moon energy by itself can be very beneficial in embarking on something because it's often a lot of positive energy and often an abundance and surfeit of energy. And when you have it making and trying to Saturn, that could be very good in terms of it could add to something career related and very ambitious energy as well, or something even connected with business. So anyway, now another thing too, looking at new moons in astrology, it's also important to look at Sabian symbols as far as Sabian symbols go, as far as the degree of this. Now this is going, new moon in Virgo, a new moon is going to fall at 25 degrees Virgo. Now a new moon by itself, of course, is very propitious for initiating something, having enterprise, being able to start something with little or no interference. And this is something, uh, the 25th degree of Virgo, as far as Sabian symbols go, could really the thing about this is that if somebody is initiating something, it can be the fact that it's a new moon, it's about initiation. If it's going to be something where there is success and the person prospers from this, there's a greater propensity to draw some animosity and even maybe create some adversaries, which could be attributed to jealousy. That's one danger in this. But at the same time, this is a very good degree as far as energy goes, and having the will and the ability to really start whatever it is you may embark on. That could be Virgo related, whether it's something connected with extrapolating data or health, nutrition, diet, fitness, anything or something that's detail oriented, like computer programming or data entry, even detailing on vehicles, if that actually still exists. It could be some diagnostic work. It doesn't, this is something where, again, it's it adds to the really to that having that ability to start something and not feel lethargic while you're doing, having that energy and drive to get it done. Now, another thing about this, okay, keep in mind that other electional transits may be intensified at the time of this new moon, because when you have like a new moon or full moon in astrology, the other transits are going to be amplified and intensified. They can have more power as a result because they're taking place at the same time as the new moon. Now, the thing about one thing that stood out to me here is that at this time of this new moon in Virgo, there's going to be an inconjunct aspect between a fairly tight one between Mercury in Libra and Neptune in Pisces. Now, when you're talking about inconjuncts in astrology, they could be about adjustments. They could also be about something health related. Now, The thing about this is Mercury. I mean, you're talking about Mercury in conjunct Neptune. In conjunction, we talk about adjustments. It could be where there's too much energy going one way or the other. There might be too much emphasis on one planet, or there may be too much emphasis on the other planet in that aspect. Now, the fact that this is Mercury and Neptune, you could have either too much emphasis on communication, or too much emphasis on isolation and being reclusive, and too much solitude. See, Mercury in Libra can be about a lot of communication in your relationships. It could be your close friendships with a significant other, romantic connections, or even communicating where you're trying to ingratiate yourself with others. Libra can be about intellectual sociability and be very active intellectually, but the thing about it is you might be a situation where there may be too many people focusing on all this communication, or there may be too much isolation. Again, this could be connected. You're talking about the coronavirus, COVID-19, where you're going to have maybe a lot of people trying to really strongly isolate themselves, or you may see it go the other way, and a lot of people might be going out and saying, I can't take much more of this isolation. It's time for me to go out and start communicating, and and ingratiating myself with others, and doing things, just communicating, going outside, communicating more with people that I have important friendships with, or relationships in general, married people that you may be involved romantically with, or what have you. And also to keep in mind that in conjunction astrology can also be about health related issues. Mercury can be associated with breathing and respiratory issues, and Neptune is general weakness. And the thing about it is, not to be redundant with this, but this Neptune and Pisces energy, I see as a main culprit of the coronavirus. So it's important to be careful at this time, because there's speculation on there being a resurgence of this COVID-19 and a coronavirus. And September 17th is just going to be it may be 5 days roughly from the beginning of fall beginning officially, and there is speculation that there could be a resurgence of the coronavirus when we hit fall around that time. So anyway, now another thing too, it's also important to look at other transits to your natal chart, because at the time of this new moon, that those transits can be amplified and intensified as well, because they're taking place at the same time as the new moon. Uh, Transit, like with me, I have a good aspect, a good transit, because this I'm going to have transit Venus in Leo, making a sextile to my natal moon in Gemini. And that transit Venus in Leo is going to fall in my fourth house. My natal moon in Gemini is in my first house. So the way that may manifest and pan out for me is that having that transit Venus in Leo, it could be about getting some generous, I call it extravagant funds, maybe for my home life. And the fact that it's going to make the sextile to my moon in Gemini, which could play very well in helping satisfy the restlessness in my home life to some degree, because remember, the moon can be associated with one's home, and being in Gemini, of course, it's very mercurial, restless energy, to say the absolute least. So you can do the math. Now, another thing too is that it's also, I mean, yeah, I mean, I wanted to say there's one other thing we need to look at as well. As far as this new moon and Virgo energy in general, this could be, I mean, you have to look at contraindicators as well. Yes, the new moon by itself in astrology can indicate starting something with an abundance and surfeit of energy, but at the same time, there could be contraindicators in one's horoscope. I mean, let's say, for example, you have transit Neptune making an adverse aspect to your natal Mars, Sun, or Ascendant. You may feel more about like daydreaming, fantasizing, as opposed to taking action on something, and that could modify that energy and influence of the new moon in Virgo, or say if you have transit Sun or Mars in the 12th house in your chart, this could also limit energy and vitality. So those are some things uh, to look at as well. But even with that energy, the new moon in Virgo generally collectively will give a lot of people, I believe, a lot more energy, especially it could be embarking on something with work, employment, diet, fitness. You might see a lot of people saying, okay, I'm going to start this vigorous workout routine or exercise program and do so with a lot of confidence and a lot of self-assuredness, and not really having anything prohibit one and hold them back. So this is really could be a very good period as far as this new moon in Virgo goes. But anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.